Let's talk about aftermarket lights. Issues with LED lights. These could be headlights, these could be taillights. They blink fast because their counterparts are incandescent and you'll need resistors. Maybe your resistors have gone bad or they just don't have proper connections. Could be any of those things. Sometimes the LED aftermarket lights, they don't fit properly. So you'll have issues with that. Also, they fall apart. You'll see a couple examples of that in this video. Then they have bad construction. Like they're going to use cheaper components because they want to have a cheaper price. My dealership lights, $350 a side, $700, or these lights, $150. But LED lights, they're cool. They look cool. They look great. And they also can be brighter, which is awesome for visibility at night. You could have them with the smoke lenses like mine and still not get pulled over. They presumably last longer, so this all depends on the LED lights used in the construction of the LED taillights. And they give you a nice edgy experience or appearance as you drive, and people will kind of see that. And then also, they are more efficient and different. That being said, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to talk about taillights, well, aftermarket taillights and the pitfalls of them. So we'll start off with the lenses might not be properly situated. The delamination of lenses, whether they're aftermarket taillights or headlights, is a serious thing. And I've had these lights for a couple of years. Now, similar issues I found were on Amazon with the same style of taillights. So just keep that in mind. Check their reviews. So the glues that are actually non-existent really might delaminate due to heat, as you can see here. Now, I had the truck in at the shop and got a whole pile of work done, and I figured when one of the technicians saying, "Oh, you got covers?" I'm like, "No, not covers. These are actual lenses." I thought they may have messed with it, but there's actually a problem with these taillights. They're supposed to look like this. Yes, I have a second set. These actually came, but they're broken. Is this the broken one? No. You can tell they've been used. This is the broken, as you can see right there. And somebody else had these. See? Dirt. So they put them in. This is exactly how I opened it up, how I got them. So aftermarket. But yeah, they're supposed to look like this. And when they light up, they look like this. Right now the truck's not running. The other side, because it has the lens, will look like this. Pretty good, very bright. The problem being is because if the resistors don't work, they will flash fast. These are the resistors, and over a period of time, you get corrosion in here, and the connections don't work. I actually soldered these together to get rid of that, but they still do not work after a period of time. And I'm guessing because it might not be properly sealed or something, water's gotten in. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Usually they work when it's raining out, and then afterwards they don't work. And it's all dry. And then you get this, followed by that error code every single time. So click that up, and it'll go away. It flashes 3 times, and then that happens. It's the same for both sides. It's a T15 screw. I can find my other kit of this, but this one will just do just fine. You have 2 this side, and then they just pull right out. One of the important things to remember when you're working with aftermarket or even OEM lights of any sort, be gentle. The other problem is that you have to stuff this into these connectors into here, and as you can see, if you don't do it just right, they will cross and they will cause a short, and then you have to try to get it to figure out what's going on. It'll pop a fuse. I had to tape mine just so they don't touch, and then I'm able to put it in, and then they work out. So when it's connected in there, you have to shove all these wires inside, just like there, and then put it in and hope it doesn't short circuit. If it doesn't, you're gold. It won't. For me, it never did. After I did all of this and figured out how they wanted to be put in, but there's not a lot of room in there. The next thing I was talking about is you have to solder your connectors together to get them to work properly. Over time anyways. In the beginning, this does work, but later on it won't. This was my idea to fix all that. The next idea I have was these. Obviously I haven't installed them yet, so I don't know how well they work, but these lights, I had them already installed. As you can see right here, they're just on the back. Give you a closer look. I've never had an issue with these lights. This is what they sound like when they're running. They do have a bit of a click to them, which I thought was quite comical. But yeah, so running lights and then the blinker. Now we're going to remove all the old stuff, the old resistors and everything that doesn't work, and the tail light to install a new one. So what I was talking about earlier, and this is just an example of the lights. These are with the new light with the new resistors, even though they were used. If you don't hook them up properly, so these are hooked up properly now, but hook it up wrong, this is the reaction that you'll get. So it'll flash with the light, but it won't actually have the running lights. So if I change it back, there's no actual marking or anything. They actually start working, and that's not flashing. So that's what you want to work. Now the next question I thought was, hey, what if we add in these guys and see if there's a difference? So that's funny. The resistor is doing its job. I'll take it off. See? Goes back to normal. So okay, these resistors are good. Let's install them. Now to install the resistors permanently. We're just going to cut the wires, strip them off, and then just twist tie them together and then put some electrical tape over top. There's no heat shrink, no silicone infused heat shrink, nothing to be waterproof. Just want to put this all together to test it out. And in a couple of days, if nothing happens, I'm going to solder the connections, use heat shrink, obviously, and they'll be waterproof at that point. If it rains, it rains. It's not the end of the world. But these are just kind of things you got to test out to make sure that what you have ends up working the way you want it to. And also, I'm siliconing the outside of the light. So there we go. One tail light, around to two kits, second tail light, and originally I did wire and solder these up with the original resistors, these giant things. You saw these small ones. Small ones are working great right away. We'll see in time how well they're going to work for when they get stuck in the rain and whatnot. I am going to make another video on soldering and heat shrinking those connections. Right now I just taped it up. I want to see if they work. At that point, you'll have a soldering video on those taillights. And yeah, I think that's about it for these things. So just to go over it again, turn the lights on, bring the vehicle into driving mode. Left signal, no issues. Right signal, again, no issues. Are aftermarket taillights worth it for the cool factor? Heck yes. You do have to put proper resistors. Obviously these ones didn't come with proper resistors. You have these things, which only worked for a limited amount of period of time. Just enough for the warranty to expire, I guess, if not sooner. The connections on these things were pretty bad, but that's what you're gonna get for aftermarket. The new resistors I put in, they worked right away. We'll see in time. I am gonna make a video about properly soldering them And I'm not sure what the IP rating is on electrical tape, but it's not good. So you get the heat shrink with silicone, and it'll be right as rain, so to speak, no pun intended. But these are meant for incandescent, but they're LEDs, and they take up less power. That's why you need resistors. So hence the installation of new resistors. And that'll be fine. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below and get back to you guys as soon as I can. These are the lights I'm going to be running and continue to run. They're DNA Motorsport lights, probably a different name. I go figure that out. And then I'll leave in the link down below. They're pretty decent for what you pay for compared to if you were to buy them from the dealership. I think it's $350 a side, so you're like $700 for just normal stuff. This was $163 for both, and it's LED. So yeah, and then they reuse the original harness and all that stuff. So with a couple modifications, yeah, you can have yourself some really good taillights. Anyways, y'all be safe, have fun, do anything questionable, name it after me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.